for your anointing. I beg you, Lord, to anoint me to preach, teach your word today, and to anoint each of us, Lord, to receive the fullness of your word and the Holy Spirit, O Lord my God. Amen. And our message today is out of Ezekiel chapter 15, starting in verse 1. Amen. That's Ezekiel chapter 15, verse 1. It's about what's of value. So in verse 1, it says, "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is the vine tree more than any tree, or than a branch that is among the trees of the forest? Shall wood be taken thereof to do any work, or will men take a pin of it to hang any vessel thereon? Behold, it is cast into the fire for fuel. The fire devoureth both ends of it, and the midst of it is burned. Is it meet for any work? Behold, when it was whole, it was meet for no work. How much less shall it be meet yet for any work, when the fire hath devoured it, and it is burned? Therefore, thus saith the Lord, as the vine tree among the trees of the forest, which I have given to the fire for fuel, so will I give the inhabitants of Jerusalem. I'll make my face against them. I'll set my face against them, and they will go out from one fire, and another fire shall devour them. And you shall know that I am the Lord when I set my face against them. I'll make the land desolate, because they have committed a trespass, saith the Lord God." There's a whole bunch going on here, but the principle is this. We come back to the New Testament, and Jesus said, "I am the vine, and you are the branch." And he's talking about the branch itself, and he says, what good is the branch? The branch by itself has no value. You said you can't use it, you can't fashion it into a tool, you can't fashion it into furniture. The only thing you can do is when it's dry, you throw it in the fire and you burn it. It gives you heat. That's it. The branch has no value. What's that got to do with us? Oh, we see by what Jesus said. In fact, he said, in a natural context, he had no value to the world either. He lived approximately 33 years. First 30 basically working as a carpenter, which nobody really much noticed. 3 years ministering, healing the sick, raising the dead. Then he's crucified. So in a natural, it doesn't look like he accomplished anything. Didn't leave any heirs, no natural children. But he bore tremendous spiritual fruit. And we know from Galatians chapter 5, verse 22-23, we are supposed to bear spiritual fruit. So he's talking about, okay, you as a person have no value. I, as a person, have no value. Spiritually, he's talking about. Okay, we have no value at all to God. Except, the one thing a vine does is it bears fruit. It bears grapes. And the grapes are good because while the grapes spoil not after very long, you can squeeze those grapes and you can turn it into wine, which will stay for a long time. You can also let it turn to vinegar, and then the vinegar has a value as well. But the point is, the vine, if it doesn't bear fruit, is useless. And so to God, if we don't bear fruit, we have no spiritual value. But the fruit that we bear, Galatians chapter 5, verse 22-23, love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. That has great value to God. And if it has great value to God, it has great value to us. That's actually not for us so much. We bear fruit for other people. By which I mean, what happens when we have peace? People come and they pluck it. When we show love, other people will test that love. Why? Because they want some of it. And so it is. God has us to bear fruit. What do we have value to God? We have value to God not because of our beauty, not because of our intellect, not because of what we have, because everything, all of that, came from God. And as I said before, we leave this earth with less than what we came with, because we come with a body and we don't even take that with us. But the Bible does command us to leave spiritual fruit, to bear spiritual fruit. But I want to come back to the second part of that, the vine. A lot of people tend to think that they're better than other people. Sometimes that's gender related. Sometimes it's even racially related. The color of your skin. They say, oh, well, that makes me better, or worse, whatever. And all of that is pure bunk. Because we're all part of the vine. All made in the image and likeness of Jesus. And when we look at each other, you can see the tremendous diversity that God embraces. Not just in terms of shapes, colors, sizes, but in terms of character that he gives us. And yet to him, we're all equal. Every one of us. So this is a problem for us. This is actually a misunderstanding when we think that we're better. What makes us think that we're better than anybody else? He says, what value has the vine? You can't fashion it, you can't do anything with it. You basically got to burn it. Has no value until it bears fruit. And so it is. We have no value above anybody else on the face of this earth. Nobody. We're not better. What makes us think we can be better? What makes us think that we are better? That's interesting. That's strictly pride. Because if you take something, you can look at something. So you can say, well, my color is lighter, so I'm better. There's even some people who say, I'm darker, so I'm better. There's some people who say, well, I'm taller, that makes me better. Or I'm shorter, makes me better. I'm smaller, that makes me better. I'm smarter, makes me better. I'm whatever, makes me better. Looking at just one criteria, you can think that you're better than someone else if you value that above someone else. But who says anybody else values the same thing? You can say you're better on the basis of your eye color. Whatever you want. Your shoe size can make you better if that's what you want to put the criteria on. But it doesn't make you better. Because Jesus right here says, it doesn't matter what your criteria is, it's wrong. Because he made us all in his image and likeness, and we're all equal. So we are fooling ourselves if we think we're better than somebody else. Oh, you could say, well, but what about Hitler? I'm better than Hitler. No, you're not. But he committed all those murders. It's like, yeah, so how do you figure you're better than him? Because without God, we're all evil. Again, it's a matter of you can set yourself up a certain criteria. I didn't kill a bunch of people. Yeah, but how does that make you better? Maybe if you had the opportunity, you would. You don't know. My wife always wants to kill me. I don't know. But she's restrained by the Holy Spirit. So I'm teaching her patience, I guess. It's all about the fact I know better than anybody else. From Adam to the last person standing, I'm no better than Mussolini. I'm no better than Stalin, who killed off millions of people. Hitler, any of these people. I'm not better than anybody. Not one of them. Now, when you can finally come to terms with the fact that you're not better than anybody else, it's also very liberating. Because you're starting from the bottom. And when you're starting from the bottom, every way is up. You can, by being humble, you don't have to worry about keeping up appearances. It's obvious, you're just nothing, okay? So you don't have to worry about keeping up appearances or doing anything to do that. And how can you can be humble? You can be humble in the presence of Jesus. Why? Because although you're nothing, I'm nothing, I know in Jesus I'm everything.
Amen.
I don't have to be something that I'm not. He just wants me to be the best that I can be in him. And that's a beautiful thing. Nobody else can be like I can be. But I thank God that for each one of you, nobody else can be like you are. He created you unique. Not just at this time, in history, you are a unique person. That's you too, Gianna. You too, Delilah. Unique. One of a kind. He broke the mold. No more duplicates. There's no duplicates.
No more fake.
And it's a beautiful thing. He made us unique. He made us exactly the way he wants to make us. He made us, he said, yes, When he created you, he said, this is a perfect work. You can thank God for that. But you can't add anything to that. When you have perfection, you can't add to it, you can't take away from it. Adding or taking away from it just makes it less than perfect. So it says, as the vine tree among the trees of the forest, which I have given to the fire for fuel, so will I give the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Why? They forgot to bear fruit. Now, I remember what Jesus did to the fig tree. Beautiful green fig tree. He came, he says, there's no fruit on it. And he cursed it to death. And it died. We can be having a good life. We can have a happy life. We can enjoy it. But at the end, we're not governed by how much money we made because God gave that to us in anywhere. We're not governed by how many assets we have because that came from God. We're governed by the fruit that we bore. It's a spiritual issue. It's not about what you have, it's what you and what you don't have. It's about what you bore spiritually. It's easy to forget. In the midst of our trying to make a living and get ahead and enjoy the good things of life, to get the good things of life and to enjoy the good things of life, that all of those are just temporary. They come and they go. But what is eternal is the fruit that we bear. And how do we bear that fruit? By getting in the presence of God. Amen. Appreciating who He is. Fellowshipping with God. Thanking Him for who He is. And who He is in your life. And allowing God to work in you to bear fruit so that other people can pick it. Because even though it might not be seen, that's fruit that is eternal. It's forever, and it's laid up to your account for eternity. Your credit will die with you. But not the fruit of the Spirit. Now that's a good deal. Your credit may die, but the asset, the fruit of the Spirit, will never die. It'll be there for eternity with you. Now that's a good deal. That's what we need to be looking at. And that's my message for today.